So looking at these signs, mounted to the bottom here under this corrugated, if this is truly all just corrugated here, the only thing you can be certain of is that there is no certainty with corrugated, so it's extremely inconsistent. What I found is sometimes it can be between here and here will be an eighth, and then it just stretches across. It depends on how it was punched. It depends on what part of the run when they were manufacturing it. Different dies, things like that. Different punches have different tolerances. When it's laid on there, it can stretch. It can be a little bit off. So trying to catch these ribs just right is really going to be that's a tall ask to try to get this consistent across these for many different signs, as well as you can't be certain that this is going to be 90 degrees. Most of the time it's not. It's going to be some sort of variation like that. So the little Lego hand you have to create to try to grab onto this thing will have to be custom. Also, it won't be a matter of just bending this into break or anything like that. To get something this strong, it would have to be a three-piece type of fabrication kind of thing. So, but the distances between here and here across could vary between an eighth, who knows. So getting these arms to be exactly right on for every sign across all of this is really not going to be, that would be very difficult. So I'm thinking maybe if these have to stay hanging like this, the only certain thing that you can count on that'll be more consistent is just going along the horizontal. So taking all of this out of play and just go across the horizontal. So I would say that these would be some 1/4 inch brackets. Going in the middle, if we can, would probably be the most strength. That would give you a nice plate there. And then these guys here would just be for stabilization. We'd have to bring them inbound so that way, or inboard, so we can hit these in the front and having the most play here. Now we might be able to bring these more in line so it looks like it's meant to be like that, but I would want to have this overhang here to have maximum back and forth movement in case these aren't exactly where they are. If this is shifted over, or it depends on how how each of these things are going to be. It would have to take some survey to make sure. So whether or not you want it to look complete across the top, that's more of a design, but the loads will stop here and here, and really this would just not really be any kind of structural here. But if it needs to be a bar that goes across. From the side, I would definitely want to make sure you have front to back, front and back hardware. Having this front and back hardware right here might mean that you can bring this over because you can get to the screw in the front and the screw in the back. So this can possibly line up this vertical to make it look more symmetrical, so it doesn't have to stay off this. But you want to basically have access for your screw gun to come in here. So anyway, so if it's offset like that, then that's the way it is. But you want to have your screws, you're going to want to have multiple screws front and back for wind loads, and you don't want to have the screws just in the center, because then that creates like a horizontal axis for this thing to rotate on. So you don't want to have them just right in the middle there. So that's why I have them like that. Just in case somebody wants to come up and give it a high five, or sometimes a maintenance person coming through with a ladder might give it a good whack. So you want to have definitely some good plate there. Or if it doesn't have to hang down, and might even be better to tuck it up, this would be simpler to make, but you're just taking some, that's a 2x2 angle there. We do some lords plus rivets for safety, and install can just drill their holes as they see fit, so it's a fully custom way to mount it, and they can just shoot it up against the ribs as they see fit. So that might be another way to go. So something like this or something like that, I think those are really the only choices. But trying to hit the target of grabbing those ribs exactly across the entire campus is going to be really tough. So that's how I see it.